All right guys, so on today's field tips, I'm just going to go over a real quick, easy, and indestructible case for traveling with your arrows. So I've got two pieces of PVC pipe here. This is just standard 4-inch sewer pipe you can get from Home Depot. You can get a 12-foot stick of this stuff for probably 14 bucks maybe. And I've got two pieces here. The reason I've got two is that I'm eventually going to make a two-part case. So I'll have a part for my bow and a part for my arrows, and eventually I'm going to have them so they'll connect together so that they don't get separated. But today we're just going to go over the arrow portion of it. So I've got this tube cut quite a bit longer than my arrows, and the reason that I have that is because I want them to be both the same length, because my bow is a little bit longer than my arrows when I break it down into two pieces, and so just to keep things even, my arrow portion is going to be a little bit longer too. Now I've got some pieces of foam here. Now these actually came out of a rod shipping tube for a fishing rod, and we're going to use these to hold our arrows in place so they're not banging around and getting the fletchings all smashed up. You could use just regular egg crate that you can get from Walmart, or any kind of foam is going to work. Now what I've done with this, I'm making this case to hold 6 arrows, and I've taken a broadhead or some other sharp blade and I've made 6 little holes in this thing so that my broadheads and my nocks are going to fit down in here. And I've got 2 of them. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and just take my arrows, and I'm going to stagger them. I'm going to put them nock to tip along this thing. So put one there. The next one is going to be knocked down. And you don't want them poking all the way through this thing. You just want them sticking in there just enough so that it's going to hold them from banging against one another. Can be a little bit of a juggling act getting all these things to fit in there just right. So now that I've got all my knock ends in there, I'm just going to go ahead and stick this down in this tube. Now I should have mentioned that when you're poking your holes in this foam, you want to poke them far enough in so that when you shove this thing down in there, your fletchings aren't going to be coming in contact with the side of the tube. All right, so now for the top part. And just do the same thing, just line up the tips. Make sure you don't get them crossed when you're putting them in there. All right. Shove them all the way down. And I've got about 2.5 inches or so of gap up top here. And I'm just going to fill that in with another piece of foam. And they're solid as rock in there. You could throw this thing off a cliff and your arrows are going to be just fine. Just take another cap, stick on there. Now, like I said, I'm eventually going to make a 2-part case, and I'm actually going a little bit fancy. I've got this one leather covered, and it's just the same thing. It's got a cap down here at this end. I sewed up a leather tube here, and then I had to make a cap that was going to go over the leather. And the way that I did that was I took a cap and put a spray wax on it, and then I laid fiberglass over the top of it and put about 4 or 5 wraps or coats of fiberglass on there, cloth and resin, built it up big enough, and then I sanded it all down smooth so that I've got a cap that is a custom made cap that's gonna fit right over the top of this leather here. Now I'll eventually cover this with leather and then create some sort of attachment thing so that my cap here doesn't come off. But I'll get to that in a later video. Now, for the guys that are signed up at Patreon, I just uploaded the 3rd video in our how to build a 2-piece takedown bow. And I'm getting ready to take off for a hog hunt, so you guys are gonna be getting pretty up-to-date coverage on what's going on down there. So the first goal on Patreon has absolutely been smashed. Much thanks to you guys. And I just the other day drew a name for a custom bow. Now, I'm gonna be doing this again when the next funding goal is met. So if you're interested in exclusive bow building content, being entered to win a custom built bow built to your specs, and a whole bunch of other really cool stuff, go to patreon.com/clayhayes. Check it out. We've got a lot of cool stuff going on over there, and I'm gonna be actually uploading some pretty up-to-date coverage of some of the hunts that I'm gonna be doing this year. So with that, we'll see you there, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do it.